everybody. My name is Julia, and welcome to my digital classroom. Today is lesson 3 out of 10 in our unit on the executive branch of the American government. Today's topic is going to be the presidential agenda. As always, my resource for everything is iCivics, so you can follow the QR code on the top right to find my lesson plans and resources for today. And I'm always committed to giving you a lesson in 10 minutes or less, so let's just jump right into it. Our lesson objectives for today are that we are all going to be centered on the presidential agenda. We're going to talk about its purpose, how checks and balance affect it, how strategies can be used to create a successful agenda, and we're going to talk about how the State of the Union address might affect that agenda. So let's get started. First, let's do a quick warm up. Go ahead and take out your phones, open your camera app. Use your camera to scan that QR code. It should pop up and ask you to open the website padlet.com. Go ahead and do that. It's going to ask you to answer the question, do you think campaign and presidential promises are kept? I want to know what you think. So go ahead and make a prediction there. Pause this video and then come back to finish the rest. Okay, so what is an agenda setter? Because remember, that is one of the 6 roles of the president. First, you should know that the agenda begins being written during the campaign, and the agenda is just basically a to-do list of what the president hopes to do while they are in office. So these are promises that they're going to make on the campaign trail. These are also some adoptions of ideas that came from their opponents. Here's a great example of that because it can be used to change and broaden the appeal. Hillary Clinton did this in her campaign whenever she was going against Donald Trump in 2016. Whenever Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race for president, she actually took on some of his campaign promises just so that his supporters would be more likely to join her. And that's not dishonest in any way. Politicians use that all the time, and it's a great way to incorporate the views of more people. So, this is a very common practice, and it's a very successful way of not only gaining support, but having a more effective and widely supported agenda. So let's talk about that State of the Union address. The State of the Union address is just an annual speech to Congress. The last one, now keep in mind this video was filmed in March of 2020. The last State of the Union address was done on February 4th, 2020 by President Donald Trump. So the president will give this speech every year. And basically, what they do is they lay out all of their goals for the year, all of the bills that they hope to be passed, the changes that they hope to be made, and they encourage Congress to start working on those bills because the president is in support of them and is ready to sign them into law. This is also important because of the idea of checks and balances. Remember, laws just can't be written willy-nilly. The president can't just put something into law, and Congress can't write something and throw it into law. The Congress can write it all out, but it needs to be approved by the president. So the president may also take this opportunity to talk about laws that they are just not in favor of. So that way, the Congress won't waste their time writing bills that probably will never get signed into law. This is also a great way of the president to announce the successes that they have had in the previous year, the failures, and to keep in perspective the agenda that they set before they even got elected. So the State of the Union is pretty hefty. The picture on the right here is of Lyndon B. Johnson's State of the Union address. This is notable because he actually did the first State of the Union address. He was elected in the 60s. So, is that State of the Union address really that important? Here are 2 perspectives. Most people think, no, it's just a speech. Promises are just made to be broken. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Well, here are the facts. Political sciences have actually found that 75% of promises made by presidents are kept. And the failed promises are usually just because Congress doesn't agree with the president and won't write those bills in the first place. So it's usually not an intentional mishap or change in mind by the president. It's usually just because the president and the Congress are from 2 different parties, so they clash. I think that was very fascinating. I didn't know that before this. So, I'm curious, were your predictions correct? That's all I have for you for today. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you have any questions for me at Giulia Pucci edu. You can also scan the QR code on the left, find my website, giuliapucci.weebly.com. All my contact information is there for you. And of course, your teachers are great resources if you have any questions as well. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!